Welcome to our channel, where we update the latest, most thrilling and surprising developments from the blockbuster movie Beyond the Gates. If you are a fan of mysterious, dramatic stories and twists that make the audience hold their breath, then don't take your eyes off today's video. We will take you deep into hidden conspiracies and the most brutal truths. All will be revealed in Martin's tearful and hateful journey when he discovers the dark secret related to his true identity. Martin has long lived in the belief that he is the only and legitimate son of Ted, a rich, powerful and domineering man who raised him in an environment full of rules but lacking true love. Throughout his adult life, Martin has always tried to live up to Ted's expectations, striving to be worthy of the position of the future heir of the family, while enduring all the harsh control of his adoptive father without knowing that his entire life is actually just part of a terrible lie. Everything begins to change when Nicole, a woman with a shady relationship in the family, suddenly reveals a shocking truth. Once accidentally discovering old documents hidden in a secret safe in the mansion, Martin finds a handwritten letter with no sender's name but with words that can turn everything he once believed upside down. Martin is not Ted's biological son. In a state of confusion, Martin decides to confront Nicole, the only living person who can explain everything. And in the very room where the past is sealed by long-standing secrets, Nicole is forced to admit a secret that has been hidden for years, that Martin is actually the result of an affair between her and another man, a complete stranger to the family. Ted did not know this until Martin was 6 years old, and when he discovered, instead of kicking them out of the house, Ted chose to keep quiet, accepting Martin as his own son. Not out of love but because he wanted to maintain the perfect image of an unblemished aristocratic family in the eyes of the public. The truth hit Martin hard. Every emotion, anger, hurt, humiliation, surged up, making him feel like he was about to collapse. Everything he had believed in was now just a carefully staged play. He realized that he had never truly been loved, that all his sacrifices and efforts had been misplaced. What's more terrifying is not just the fake identity, but the fact that Ted has been secretly monitoring and controlling him like a pawn, while his heart is full of contempt for his impure bloodline. That explains why Ted always treats Martin coldly, gets angry for no reason, or puts pressure on Martin beyond the limit. Ted never saw a son in Martin, but only saw a burden that cannot be dismissed. As for Nicole, because of the fear of being deprived of everything, she chose to stay silent, accepting to live in Ted's hatred just to keep her son a position in the family. Martin, after knowing the truth, could not return to being himself as before. He began to doubt all the relationships around him, wondering if any of the people he loved were sincere. Every memory, every time Ted put his hand on his shoulder with a fake compliment now became a knife that pierced deep into his mind. He no longer felt a sense of belonging to the family, no longer saw any reason to continue to be attached to the family he had served all his life. But what pushed Martin into the abyss was when he discovered that Ted had prepared a secret plan to remove him from the family fortune, replacing him with someone else, his own nephew, who carried the true bloodline that he was proud of. Not only did Ted want to erase Martin legally, he also hired people to follow him, gather information to find a way to bring him to court with false accusations to completely destroy his reputation before the public and the board of directors. Martin, after the initial shock, began to change. He was no longer the obedient, resigned heir like before. He became colder, more secretive, and cautious than ever. He secretly collected evidence, followed Ted's every step, trying to find the weakness of the man who had ruined his life with a lie. At the same time, Martin also gradually distanced himself from Nicole, the mother he once loved the most, who now became a symbol of betrayal in his eyes. He could not forgive her for allowing Mr. Ted to mentally torture him for many years, just to protect his position in the family. In Martin at this time, there were only two things left: pain and the will to revenge. While Ted still appeared to be in control, the truth gradually leaked out through some documents that Martin deliberately leaked to the press. A scandal about bloodline, about Ted hiring someone to fake Martin's birth certificate, even paying money to force doctors to hide the secret of DNA testing, began to spread and shocked the upper class. Ted lost power little by little. Those who once trusted him began to doubt. Some members of the company's board of directors asked him to resign to avoid affecting the stock. The whole empire began to shake. Nicole, who thought she would be safe, was also dragged into the vortex. Shady transfers from company funds to her personal account were investigated. Her relationship with a mysterious man, who was believed to be Martin's biological father, was exposed. The press resurrects a scandal from 30 years ago that Nicole was involved in, sending her reputation into freefall. Meanwhile, Martin, now with nothing to lose, moves forward with his plan. He doesn't want to just expose Ted. He wants him to experience the loss of everything: his reputation, his power, his trust, and ultimately his utter loneliness. But just when he thinks he has the upper hand, another truth suddenly emerges from the past. A new character, a mysterious woman who had a relationship with Nicole and Ted, appears along with a video recorded many years ago, which reveals a hidden part of the story. Ted was behind the sudden death of Nicole's first lover, the man who was believed to be Martin's real father. In the video, Ted admits to making the other man disappear to save face for the family, and using his power to silence Nicole. This truth not only makes Martin more indignant, but also opens a whole new chapter in his revenge plan. He is not just a deceived son. He is the descendant of a victim who was murdered and replaced by a lie built on blood and tears. Martin knows that to defeat someone like Ted, you cannot rely on the law or superficial justice alone. He needs to drag Ted into the darkness he created, forcing him to destroy himself. As things seem to reach a climax, Martin prepares for a special shareholders meeting, where he will reveal all the secrets to the public. But will Ted let it be? Or does he still have one last card that is enough to turn the tide? And if this war explodes to the extreme, who will be the one to survive? The next developments will definitely keep you glued to your eyes. To make sure you don't miss any of the exciting details of Martin's journey to uncover his identity, the truth, and his brutal revenge, be sure to follow and subscribe to our channel today. Thank you for joining us, and brace yourself for more shocks to come.